right, taking a look here at Zach Howell. This is December of 2014. Down here on the bottom is Jared Wells, player I worked with the Padres, who was through 90 plus, and had some big league time as well. Okay, taking a look at Zach here. We're in a pretty good position, at this point in the motion. If you take a look, we'll work from the front leg and kind of work our way back. If you look at the front leg and the front knee, the knee is fairly well stabilized behind the front foot. We don't want to feel like that knee slides out and gets on top. So in other words, when we land, we want a nice bracing effect from that front leg, and the knee specifically shouldn't collapse on us, and the knee shouldn't drift out over the front leg. Okay, and then that leg should kind of continue to work against the ground as we release the pitch. Okay, so front foot may be turning open a little too much. You can kind of see how it kind of flies just a little bit late, so we might want to try to start stepping a little bit more, a shade more closed. We don't want to over close, but that might be a little bit too much opening on that front leg. Okay. Okay, we'll stay with the front side here and kind of move up and look at the left side, the glove side, and we really want to feel like that glove is coming back to us. And Zach not doing too bad here. A lot of players will straighten out that left arm and bring it out real wide, which takes energy away from our target. We really want to bring that glove back to us, and we can probably improve upon that to some degree. And I think Jared could have probably improved upon that as well. So we want a little bit more forceful bringing back of the glove into the chest area. Okay, moving up that front side, and I consider the head part of the front side. If we're dividing it, it would look something like this. You can see, especially from behind, how Zach's head is really tilted to the left. Now, everybody's going to have, some degree of, shoulder tilt, spinal tilt in that direction. You can see Zach's is sharper, a little steeper, and even more concerning is, you can really see his head really tilt to the left here from the side shot. You can see how much activity there is in the head. And when you look at most of your big league pitchers, the head is very quiet. And Jared had a very nice, quiet head. Same as in hitting. We don't want to feel like the neck is turning and the neck is moving. The body kind of turns around the head, and we want that head to stay quiet. So we're going to work on trying to keep Zach's head a little bit more upright. There's room for a little bit of tilt, but there's no doubt. My biggest concern is here with that head really leaning off to the left side. Sometimes players will do that to try to feel like they'll tilt their body to kind of increase this angle to feel like they need to be a little bit more over the top. And the throwing motion really isn't directly over the top. It's more here to the side. So in terms of overhand or sidearm, I think the angles of their arm to the spine are about the same. Zach's arm's a little higher because he's got more, unnecessary tilt to the left. Okay? So we want to be quiet with the head, work in straight lines. Don't try to keep the fingers on top of the ball, but don't try to get the ball too far, overhand. Okay, let's move to the back side now, and we'll start from the ground and work our way up. And starting with the back leg, you can see how much earlier Zach gets started, which, obviously he's in a live game and he's, holding runners, which I'm sure affects it somewhat. However, I think Zach is in his leg lift too long. And what I mean by that is, you can see Jared, when his knee gets to the top, you can see he's already pushing sideways with that back leg. Okay, so he's driving sooner, whereas Zach is still back here. That femur has not abducted. He hasn't really pressed. He's squatting into that leg too much. I think we're getting a little bit of flexion here at the knee, and we're kind of sitting into that leg as it drops down. You can see even this far down, you know, we're bent, I think, a little too much. There should be some flexion there, but I think that's a little too much. And we're more squatting here instead of really pushing, using the muscles at the side of the hip here. Same as in hitting, same exact pressing action. And we need that to start happening, you know, actually before the knee gets to the top. We need to start making a more concerted effort to using that those muscles, gluteus medius, to drive energy in a straight line at our target. So we're doing that too late, and probably not enough. Now eventually Zach does get going there, but I also think there's a little too much turning going on. You can see Jared's foot is more sideways. You can see it here. We still see shoelaces. Here Zach has turned it over, so there's a little bit maybe not enough emphasis on the driving aspect, and maybe a little bit too much on the turning. And again, similar to the hitting. Okay, we want that back leg to drive in a straight line and allow the rotation to happen, but we don't want to force it over. So I think Zach's turning that foot over a little bit too soon. Okay, so we want that leg to be a driver. We don't want to worry about it rotating. Okay, so we want to drive sideways sooner, and we want to focus all our energy on pushing all of our focus on pushing as much energy in a straight line as at our target. We'll allow the foot to turn over, but we don't want to force it. Okay, I've synced all of them up to the highest point of their leg lift, and you can see Jared is a little bit you know, lower in the game. Obviously, you know, when he's throwing a bullpen, he's got more time, so he does go a little higher than that when he's just throwing a bullpen. But you can see he still comes out of it a lot sooner than what Zach is doing, and and we're getting movement here at the top of the leg much sooner. So again, you can see how much farther Jared has gotten here, and even here with regard to how much the back leg is doing. So we got to get that back leg going more and get it going sooner. You want to kind of roll them through. See how much sooner Zach starts. Okay, he's already at the top. You know, it's a little closer in the bullpen, but he's still out of it a decent amount sooner. And there's definitely a lot more activity here a lot sooner in the process. Okay, let's move up the line here, and let's talk about the arm action, how the arm moves through the process. Overall, we need to loosen the arm up a little bit. You know, Zach, I think, gets the ball up to the, you know, above the shoulder to the ear too soon, and it kind of the arm just kind of stays there, you know. And we want to feel like that arm is loose and it's continually moving, and so we're kind of getting it up there, and it just kind of stops, and it just stays there and stays there, and the arm isn't really moving. The arm we need to loosen it up. Okay, and that's where we're going to go with trying to be a little more whip-like with the arm and free it up a little bit. You know, at release, the arm's in an outstanding position right here. This is perfect. We want to feel like that elbows right through our ear, just like that, and we create this nice, clean, you know, line right through our back leg there. Okay, so that's a beautiful release position. Matches up very well. You know, as we back it up, we're in a great position. Excuse me. We're in a great position here. The elbow is bent. Okay, the elbow is bent here. The ball is laid back. We're nice and flexed. We're getting a good stretch there. Okay, elbows back behind the ear. We're very similar here to where Jared is. We're getting good external rotation out of the humerus. Forearm and the baseball obviously are laying back well, and we're in a great position here at this point. Okay, and we're really nice right here. We want to be at 90 degrees, maybe even a little less, as that bone begins to lay back, and we're really good here. But as we go back a few frames here, this arm is getting here, it's getting here, and it's stalling out. So I think the ball's being rushed up a little bit, and then we're getting stiff at the top. Okay, so and again, we want to get flexed here. We want the elbow bent at this point, but we've got to get there in a looser fashion. Okay, so as we back it up, we might allow Zach to kind of drop down maybe a little bit more, but we still always want to get to this. And again, the rule is try to get the elbow bent to about 90 degrees before the ball gets high. But the humerus shouldn't stop moving at that point. Okay, if you look at Jared, you see how it's continually flowing. Okay, we get to a real similar position here, but Zach is just a little stiffer in the way that he gets there. So even as we work on our catching and our infield throwing action, that humerus should feel really loose and keep moving. It shouldn't feel stiff at the top. We shouldn't get the ball up there and then just hold it there. Okay, so you can see how much sooner Zach's baseball is in that position, and then how Jared's gets there. He doesn't get quite as, at this point they're about the same degree of flexion. Jared could have probably been a little bit more bent here, although he does get flexed, but he also hooked that wrist, which wasn't a good thing. But you can see how he gets here, and the ball doesn't just stay there. It continues laying back. It's going to lay back, and then it's going to spring forward. Okay? So whether we're catching, whether we're playing third base, or whether we're pitching, we don't want to feel like that humerus stops, moving. Once the ball gets even with the shoulder, we get bent, and then it's going to lay on back. But you can see, Zach's baseball is already there. It's there now. And Jared's still bringing it up, and it just staying there. And now they start laying back at about the same time. So you can see how long the ball stays there. So we've got to figure out a way to keep the arm moving. And it really is just a matter of keeping it loose. Really what we're after is the legs, pushing hard in a straight line with those legs with a nice, loose, whippy arm. That's what we're after. And that arm action is we want to drop down, be loose with it. We want to see the elbow get bent close to 90 degrees before the ball gets up. And then we want to allow that humerus to keep moving, stay loose, turning the bone with the rotator cuff muscles, and allowing the ball to lag back. And again, Zach gets to a great position here with the arm. Okay, it's really nice just before release. So there's a lot of great things going on here. That's a great position. He's synced up really nice from about right here through release. That's beautiful. Okay, so a lot of good things going on, but we got to get the easy answer is let's quit tilting the head. Let's push in straight lines with our legs. Let's get the legs going a little sooner, and let's loosen that arm up a little bit. We still want to get bent. We want to get bent. We've got to get bent. You can see the elbow very bent at this point. We've got to get bent before release, and we want to get bent before the ball gets above our shoulder line. But at the same time, we got to stay loose, and that's with third base, catcher, or pitching. The arm's got to stay loose.